Once Deepak Chopra said, although we take it for granted, but sanitation is a physical measure that has probably done more to increase human lifespan than any kind of drug or surgery. Irony is, humans understand the importance of sanitation when the situation like COVID-19 or any other pandemic hits the mankind. Now, most of us are following the best practices to be clean and also make sure our environment is clean. With this note, I would like to start our today's session. Good morning, IIEBM. I welcome you all to IIEBM's original direct-to-home lecture series, Hands-on, Plugs on, Minds on. My name is Balkrishna, and I'm your host for today's session. Before I introduce you to today's guest, let me take you to the itinerary of today's session. The session is going to be of 45 minutes of knowledge sharing, followed by 15 minutes of question and answers. So we are looking forward to your interesting, igniting, and awakening questions. Today we have an eminent personality who took sanitation and liquid waste management to next level. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Rajeev Kher. Mr. Kher is the founder of 3S Shramik and Saraplast Pvt Limited. His passion for better sanitation led him to create India's very first sanitation impact and liquid waste management company in the year 1999. With his mission to provide sanitation for the unserved people of India, this pioneering effort and his perseverance has become the revolutionary impact enterprise with a phenomenal social business model present all over India. Since the inception of the organization, Mr. Kher believed in the circular economy principle and technological innovation. From completely recyclable HDPE material to flushing system with least water usage mechanism, refurnishing old and scrapped public transport buses into restroom for women, he has always adhered to the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle. Mr. Kher is currently the founder, chairman, and CEO at Saraplast Pvt Limited. He is also the chief trustee at Shramik Twistqualis Foundation. Mr. Kher is the chairman at Portable Sanitation Association of India. Mr. Kher also holds the position of board member as an independent director at Toilet Board Coalition, Geneva, Switzerland. It fills me with joy to share that Mr. Kher is an integral part of Board of Governors at IIEBM also. Some of Mr. Kher's key accomplishments are following. Mr. Kher was awarded as the Entrepreneur of the Year in year 2017 by Global Steering Group G20. On the occasion of World CSR Day in year 2016, he was among 50 most impactful innovators. He is also a winner of India's first ever CNN IBN India Positive Awards in year 2012. Mr. Kher was also a speaker at TEDx and GeoTalks. In year 2019, he was awarded as Business Innovator of the Year at Maharashtra Achievers Award. He has also been a member of business delegation to Africa along with the Prime Minister of India. Saraplast Pvt Limited has been a leader in manufacturing of eco-friendly toilets, and today it is a renowned name in providing high-quality, innovative sanitation solutions in India. His contribution towards India, an open defecation-free country, has complemented a lot in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Academically, Mr. Kher is a postgraduate in management from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies. He is one of the very few successful entrepreneurs who not only talk about work-life balance, but also implement it in his life and leadership style. An avid sailor, a voracious reader, and a strong believer in karma. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the man of accomplishments, Mr. Rajeev Kher.
Yeah, thank you, Balakrishna. Thank you for that very kind introduction of yours. And I'm really delighted to be here with you people this morning. And every year I look forward to meeting you guys at your campus itself. But unfortunately, this year, due to the COVID-19 situation, we're homebound or office bound or whatever. As you can see, I'm in my office, and gives you an indicator of things that we're already started working, and things are almost getting back to normal. Yeah, you can see in the background some masks and lots of hand sanitizers, and but I guess that's the new normal, and we just have to get used to it. But friends, I would like to, when every year I come and attend this talk of yours, and I always really cherish every moment that I Jay Marwa, who is a close friend and also someone who I really admire, young dynamic leader that you have in you. I think Jay has really propelled the education system and the college that you have to another level altogether. The reason why I say this is because I have seen many colleges, many institutes, and I speak to a lot of young people. But there is a spark and there is a certain level of enthusiasm in every student that I have interacted with IIEBM, and I think the credit goes to Jay and his team. And I wish to congratulate him to begin with for this. I am also very proud to be a part of the governing council or governing membership that we have, and I consider this as my duty, as my offering to this great institution that Jay has built, and I wish him all the best, and I hope that he succeeds and does even better every year, and the institution grows by leaps and bounds. On that note, I would like to just come to my subject, which is basically opportunities for students and opportunities for career in for you guys in time to come. But before I touch upon that subject, I would like to ideally, talk to you about myself, about how I started a career, how I decided to do this business, which today is practically in every big city in India, and we are also growing in international across borders. So just to give you an idea about how I started, and how this MBA course is so important, and how the MBA really changes the mindset, and frankly, it changed my life. It really changed my life, and so I want to just quickly tell you that before I was trying to do some odd things, trying to work with my dad actually, and I had just finished my graduation, and then I was working with him, and I wanted to do something different, something innovative. And I used to work with him. He had an organization which was in infrastructure, so I learned quite a bit. And before that, I had a little stint with the Kirloskar brothers, which I consider as one of my most enriching experience in corporate life, and also followed by what I worked with my father. But I was still not very content, not happy, because it was something which probably I didn't like, or something I didn't, I wasn't very excited about, or I don't know what it was. And one of my cousins was applying for these MBA entrance exams, and I was very intrigued, and I said, okay, you know what, even I want to apply. So actually, just as a matter of, it was a fluke that I went for the paper, and I gave the exams, and I somehow, I don't know, as luck may have it, I did rather well, and I got into Symbiosis, and I did my MBA there, and I went and met my director for the first time, and really he was a great guy, Professor Bala, and he was he's unfortunately right now he's a little ill. He's recovering from a kidney issue in Singapore, but I every day I think of him, because he used to say this thing: problems are opportunities. And that stayed with me throughout my career, throughout my 2-year jaunt at Symbiosis, and gave me incredible amount of insight into what I would be doing in the near future. So as a student, I always was focused on innovation, focused on enterprise building somehow. I was not very inclined to doing a job. Although I did end up getting a job after I finished my MBA in a company in Canada, and I did work there for a bit to just start off my career. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something innovative, and my MBA gave me that confidence. It gave me that discipline. And coming from an army background, it even added more to nation building, to love for the country. And I decided that I didn't want to really work, and I decided to come back and into India and start something on my own. And at that time, I realized that the country needed toilets, and everybody when they landed in India would complain about smell and it's stinking and the place is so dirty. And back in 1997, in 98, 99, in those days, things were very different. It was it was not what it is today. And really, I mean, I used to feel that I need to do something about it. Either I join these people and talk about how bad the situation is, or I just roll up my sleeves and do something about it. And I actually decided to roll up my sleeves and gotten into it, with full vigor. And I started a small business with just 2 portable toilets. I took them around for road shows. I took them all over the country. And initially, I had absolutely no luck. And I almost had no savings. So I was just doing this on a very shoestring budget. And I was almost going to close down when I picked up my first sale. And that was my confidence builder. And then slowly we, when I sold the toilet, somebody told me that, oh, but what's the point of buying toilets? I need them to be cleaned. Who's going to clean them? So I said, well, it's an opportunity for me. I can, I can start a service company and probably get into cleaning of these toilets as well. And that's literally how I got into it. Even the rates that were quoted were, I wanted to make 1 lakh rupees a day. So I said, okay, 30 toilets, 3,300 rupees per toilet. And I said, I'd make 1 lakh per day from the first month of business. So I was really excited. And that's how I started my career in sanitation. And slowly I built up the business. I learned from my friends in the United States and in Europe. I brought a lot of technology and concepts and ideas from Europe and America. I modified them to suit Indian application and made them, work in an Indian context. And slowly we grew the business, and I expanded the business in all over India. We got private equity infusion twice, grew the company, and recently I even gave an exit to a couple of my investors and have sold a strategic stake to the Kalyani Group, Bharat Forge Group, and our company is now an associate of Bharat Forge, of Kalyani Group. We also have started a new company called Kalyani Clean Tech, in which I'm involved as the CEO and the executive director of the company, which is a hardcore manufacturing entity which would be making portable toilets and refrigerated vans and lots of innovative solutions. In fact, just yesterday we launched a COVID testing van, COVID testing mobile unit with ELISA testing as well as BSL stage 2 and stage 3 testing laboratory. For the first time in the country, a mobile van which was launched yesterday by Dr. Harshvardhan in Delhi, along with the AMTZ, that's Andhra Pradesh Meditech Zone. And this is something which we dedicated to the nation yesterday. And this is only the beginning. There's so much of innovation in this space. There's so much of work that one can do that I can frankly tell you that we've just about started. And I think there's a huge opportunity that lies ahead. To come back to, I think I've spoken enough about myself, and I think Bala also talked a lot about what I've done and all my accolades. But, I think the biggest achievement that I really have, and the biggest the biggest contribution that I've done is that I think I have probably put across a subject of sanitation that has become discussion on dining table as well. And in 2014, when the Prime Minister launched the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, I think that was a feather in not only a cap of India and the Prime Minister, but a huge feather in our cap, which enabled us to really propel our business, our idea. And from considering a business or a activity, even not even was considered a business, which was considered an activity that was dirty and yucky, has now become mainstream focus and national agenda for Government of India. So I think for us, we've been lucky. We've worked hard, and the credit goes to my entire team that works with me. Just one person to lead the show doesn't really help. Yes, leading by example definitely helps, but it is the team that matters. And each and every member of my team, each and every employee, director, stakeholder, vendor matters. And these are the ones who have really been our foundation and our support to make our organization grow. So that, I think on that note, I would just like to tell you guys that as students, and I think a guy who actually didn't know what he wanted to do in life and suddenly found his way by doing an MBA and found a career. He found focus, found a mission, found a purpose. And basically, very honestly, this is my MBA and my student life while doing my management studies actually gave me the life that I live today. So I'm very, very grateful to my professor, to my director at Symbiosis, Professor Bala, and also all the people who, students, friends who I worked with during that time. I think they were an inspiration for me, and they are a guiding source or a guiding light for me even today. You almost always must have a mentor, and I have a couple of mentors who are in the corporate world, also some friends and some close family. My father, these are my guides and my mentors who I look up to, who I draw inspiration from. And of course, the Almighty, from whom I get a lot of strength, a lot of inspiration. And I believe that for doing all this, it's not just my capability, or it's not just what I've done, worked hard or made money or whatever it is. I think this is a gift that God has given me, and I have been sent here to actually, this is my purpose and my mission that has been given to me by God to provide sanitation for people through the means in which we work and provide a better quality of life and living standards for people all over the world. Having said that, I jump straight into our current subject, which is what has COVID-19 done? Now, guys, you don't need to worry. I know that it's been a national pandemic, international epidemic, killed a number of people, and it's spoiled a lot of things. I think more than the number of deaths, what it's done is actually spoiled economy. Talking about the deaths, I just want to run you through some figures which I got this morning, and I've been talking about these figures for many, many years at various international forums, and it really hurts me that, do you know that in India, 820 people die of diarrhea every day. About 1,200 people die of tuberculosis every day. 413 people in road accidents, and about 1,100 people of malaria. None of this is COVID-19. Now you'd say, oh, how many people are dying of COVID-19? As of today, if you see the figure, if you tabulate everything from the beginning, it's not even 100 people per day. Yes, it's a lot of number of deaths. It's sad, but it's just 100 compared to what was already happening in India. So yes, it is a very, very contagious virus, and it has created a lot of devastation all over the world. But I think one needs to not be afraid of it. Healthy people, young people will eventually get at the end of the year, and we will recover, we'll come out of it. But just have to be careful with the older people who have a predisposed condition, as they call it, pre-morbidity or whatever that the term is. But basically, a predisposed condition is something that you have to be careful. And these are the vulnerable ones. The little young kids are vulnerable. But as young people, I don't think you guys need to worry about it at all. This is a virus, and you will all come out of it. Nobody's going to get affected in any way. You'll be sick for a few days. In fact, my first cousin came back from the United States, was discovered with COVID-19. He was in hospital for a few days. He didn't have any trouble. He just took his minor medicines. He wasn't even pricked and put into any hi-fi medication, nothing. And he came out of it and absolutely fine. And he's working again here. So don't need to be afraid of this. Please don't. Just we got to fight it out, and we got to rise above all this. So I'm not going to give COVID-19 so much of importance in terms of the virus itself. I think we just have to live carefully. And I think if you follow the old system of what our parents and our grandparents told you, no disease and no illness can affect you. As you all know that 60% of all illnesses come from a toilet seat. So in fact, you have to be very cautious about using a toilet properly and use a toilet at all times. Did you know that, I think all of us are aware, and like I said, that our parents and grandparents have always told us that when you come home, wash your hands, your face, your hands you should wash from tip to elbow, and make sure that you wash it for about 20 seconds with soap, and dry them with a dry cloth. Make sure that you take out your shoes, you wash your feet, and just remove your clothes, wear a fresh set of clothes, and honestly, you're good to go. So my suggestion to you would be, do not be scared. Yes, just don't be scared of the illness per se. Now let's come down to what has COVID-19 done to the economy. Yes, the economy has taken a beating. Corporate India, corporate America, corporate everywhere is the same situation. People are worried that they will catch the disease, and because of that, factories have shut down and manufacturing has taken a really, really big hit. But what I would suggest to you is that why don't you look at something that what is COVID-19 done for us? Now, COVID-19 has taught us that in adversity lies opportunity. For us as an organization, we have diversified in the last 2.5, 3 months, and we've been busier than normal. We've been very, very active working from home, and we've learned the new normal of WFH, or work from home, as they call it, the younger people. And we've been working on our computers, and we've been working on our SAP systems, and we've got everything implemented. And I'm proud to tell you that a company which is in sanitation and working on the field and with manufacturing, we are a 100% cloud company, 100% working on the cloud, which gives me a great sense of achievement, because a brick and mortar company is today completely on the cloud, has all their data, information, systems, everything working online, just like an IT company. I love to say this, that we look like we're an IT company, but we're an SHIT company, and I think that gives us a huge amount of leverage in this business today. Sanitation is now considered the most important aspect of what we have today, and hygiene issues and healthcare, it all boils down to that. So instead of calling ourselves a mere sanitation company, we have actually upgraded ourselves, and we believe that we want to move from sanitation to preventative health, and that's what we're doing right now. So what is the gap that's between this, and what is the opportunity that lies for people like y'all? The healthcare sector is opening up. New opportunities are coming in the space of healthcare and the circular economy of sanitation and hygiene. And as an MBA graduate, above the 100% or almost near 100% placements, so 96% placements that your institute has proved over the years, I think what it will also give you, look, I mean, don't worry, you will get a job at the end of it. And if you don't get a job, there are so many other opportunities, so many other alternatives that you can also mount and you can vouch for. But it'll give you a great career. It'll also give you money. And like I told you, it gives you an incredible life, which I can promise you. And looking at me, if you can draw some inspiration and take some lessons from what I am talking about, trust me, it will take you a very long way. The majority of issues today lie between, I think many of the people believe that some offers have been made, they've been withdrawn. A lot of companies have committed to coming in for campus, but are not coming in. This is very, very temporary. See, there's a situation of panic. Just think about it. What happens in your house in the morning, sometimes when there's no electricity, or when there's no water, or a situation where suddenly mom goes out for something urgently, kitchen is shut. These are panic situations. And trust me, if you try and apply yourselves, COVID is one such situation. This is a one-off situation the world has seen, and we're going to tide over it. I don't think any of you are going to be long-term affected by this. Yes, it will be a short-term impact for everyone. I mean, it's created an impact for us. initially our sales have dropped. Some of the people have left and gone at the lower labor level space. A lot of people have left and gone back to the villages. But in time to come, this changes. This definitely changes. It will, when people are confident, when they realize that the opportunity is there, this will definitely change. This will bring people back to work, and everything will be back to normal. And I think that people will be more cautious. People will be more careful about contracting illnesses and diseases. The level of cleanliness will go up, and there will be opportunities in the space of hygiene and cleanliness. If you just look around, everybody's advertising for disinfection and coming out with all kinds of disinfection mechanisms. People are coming out with different chemicals. People are coming out with different kind of toilets and cleaning systems and mechanisms and etc. etc. So much so that even our company came out with India's first ever COVID testing lab that was launched yesterday by Dr. Harshavardhan. And not only that, I mean, as an organization, we're even moving towards creating community-based solutions for finding out COVID. So we are in the process of tying up with a technology company to use robotics in wastewater and finding out the possibility of COVID-19 in wastewater. So in the epidemiology of sanitation and wastewater. So there are so many opportunities and so much of traction that you will be able to get now. And I think you just have to be a little creative. You have to be alert, and you have to look towards newer ideas and towards newer avenues, so to speak. I don't think that anyone needs to panic. Anyone needs to worry about it. It's a temporary situation, and it will heal. As an organization, as a leader in this particular space, and also seeing what corporate India is, and with many of my friends in government as well as in, I do not see this as a very long-term issue, although the impact that it has created for the last 3 months of no work will definitely impact the economy for a short term, and it will revive, but it will give a lot of impetus to make it in India and design in India and develop in India. And I think all of you will have much more opportunity in India itself, whether it is a job or whether it is an enterprise. I think all of you will be extremely benefited with the whole initiatives that are really taking place. I also want to draw your attention to the multiple advantages that are being actually, as a part of the COVID-19 epidemic. You know, the government has launched so many schemes for finance, for enterprise building. And I would draw your attention to that look at doing these things. I mean, just look at doing even sanitization of buildings, or, maybe working, manufacturing, making temperature gauges, working with robotics, or so many avenues that one can think of. I would strongly recommend that you guys look at these opportunities rather than giving up hope and talking about, whether I should do my MBA. Trust me, guys, this MBA that y'all are doing will give you, I can tell you, it will not, money is a very small thing. Money everybody can make. All of y'all will be very happy, make enough amount of money. But with the discipline that this course has, and especially I can vouch for it, I have seen this course on several occasions. I have come to your campus. I have recruited boys in my company, boys and girls from your organization. And in fact, I'm proud to tell you that some of the guys who worked with me have joined bigger companies like Accenture after this. So they've joined companies, large consulting, big 4 companies. They've gone abroad. And I believe that this organization really, IIEBM caters towards making you successful and gives you a lot of perspective of life. And I do not see any reason why there should be a drop in placements, or that there should be a hesitancy or a certain level of anxiety for people, whether they will get jobs or whether they should do this course, or there's so many things that are going around. But trust me that this is only going to take you to the next level, and I don't think anybody should panic. In fact, this is the right time. I would say talk to the director, talk to all these people, see what best opportunities you can get out of them. Also towards probably doing some work from home or study from home kind of tutorials that you can start working on. and continue with the course or join a couple of other courses that they already run, I think it'll be extremely, extremely beneficial to you all. I don't think I want to talk more about, other than boosting your morale and making you feel that things are not that bad. As you can see here, I'm in my office, and I don't know if you noticed a lot of activity outside. People are moving behind me. We're fully functional, and we're providing our services. Our manufacturing plants have started. Like I said, that we've been pretty much working throughout the pandemic, being essential services. And a couple of innovations we had during this period. We did 2 innovations. One was the COVID testing lab, mobile lab, which you can just tweet it. Dr. Harshvardhan has tweeted it. I think it's the Prime Minister has tweeted it as well. It's the first mobile lab for testing of COVID. We've also developed something called a Saniway, which is an automated sensor-based medication spray for buildings and for industries and companies, with a special formulated chemical to ensure that you're safe from any viruses and bacteria. And also have developed some UV related stuff. We've stepped up our sanitation levels. Our toilets have sanitizers in them. They spray sodium hypochlorite in a designated or in a defined proportion to make sure that the illnesses and the viruses are all dead. So much of innovation, so much of interesting stuff happening. And on one hand, although we feel extremely sad and extremely disappointed with this illness which has come our way, but frankly speaking, I'm positive that we'll come out of this. And really, if everybody thinks that people are blaming China and talking about what's happened, yes, the virus has definitely come from China, and but look at the advantage that has taught us. We're not going to be dependent on China anymore. We're going to be less dependent on China. There's not going to be a situation where we can probably completely say no, because many of the supply chains, many of the businesses, whether it's the direct level of manufacturing or their vendors, are dependent on certain things that happen in China, primarily because of the competitiveness of price. But it gives us a huge perspective of also doing an opportunity of working in India in the manufacturing space. A lot of businesses will come to India for manufacturing. So please don't worry about jobs really in the future. In fact, more jobs are going to come your way, because a lot of companies, international companies I know of, I cannot reveal the names of these companies, but large organizations are looking at moving to India vis-a-vis continuing in China. And it is an opportunity for all Indians to work towards this Make in India dream. It's not just the Prime Minister's dream. I think it's a dream of a nation. It's nation building. It's becoming self-reliant. And I think these are terms that our leaders have spoken about for many, many years. And we've just redefined ourselves to become Atmanirbhar. And I, on that note, I would like to really wish you all the best. I want you guys to think positively, work towards a self-reliant nation, and become independent, not worry about illnesses and issues like COVID-19, and be absolutely positive, and look forward to joining IIEBM and or getting a job with IIEBM if you're second-year students. If there's anything that I can do, my email is available with the institute. If you want to drop in a line, if you want to talk to me, if you feel that you want an idea on innovation, I work with many incubators and a lot of organizations that can help startups. We do cohorts. We also have a innovation lab that we're setting up right now for entrepreneurs and companies who want to work in the space of circular economy, of sanitation and energy creation, or something to do with smart systems or robotics related to improving health systems. We're on top of this right now, and if there's any opportunity, if you feel that there is something you can contribute to, please be free to reach out to me through Jay or directly. We'll be more than happy to help, and I wish you the very best. May we get over this illness very soon, and God bless you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. So I have a few questions for you. Shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, sir, the first question is, what are your views on our Honorable Prime Minister's new motto, vocal for local, where we have dependencies on China in terms of manufacturing and other resources?
Yeah. So I think I touched upon it very, very mildly. But I think, yes, it is going to give us a huge impetus, this whole act of, becoming self-reliant and manufacturing in India. I think many of the components, see, you have to also appreciate that many Indian companies have been buying from China for a very long time, whether they are a part of the supply chain, whether they are part of, the actual sale or the product. But you have to accept one thing about China, that they're extremely competitive. They are very innovative, and they have come out with price points which are incredible. So I think that many Indian companies have learned this over the last many years, and they have drawn a lot of ideas and inspiration from Chinese companies and have applied it to the Indian context, and actually have completely become Atmanirbhar, and already are working with the Make in India, Made in India initiative. So yes, one thing is for sure, that with this whole thing that has happened, not only China, but generally, I won't really want to isolate China really, but it's just that the whole reliance, just imagine today we're shut pretty much to the whole world. There are no imports happening, or maybe very partial imports happening from all over the world. Flights are not taking off, ships are not docking. So we are forced, in this, like I said, there's an opportunity in this adversity, and we are forced to come out with our creativeness. We are forced to come out with our innovativeness and bring out products in the manufacturing space and work on ideas which are cost competitive, and compete with China or with Taiwan or with whatever else that has been providing a multiple number of products and goods into India. So yes, I do really agree with this, being vocal about being local. And at the same time, I also would like to say that you need to think global and act local. And that's really the key towards being successful for organizations, is draw the best practices from all over the world, get ideas and innovation from all over the world, and apply it to an Indian context, and work towards creating a better India. So I completely 100% I'm in sync with that. And I'm not threatened, or I do not feel that this might create issues in the future. In fact, if we are more focused on that, our quality is only going to increase. Our, my group company chairman, in fact, said yesterday or day before on a call that, as an organization, we want to, in fact, even build jet engines. And that is his dream, to make jet engines for fighter aircrafts. And if you talk about the defense sector, if you talk about the railways, I think the opportunities that lie in this sector for Indian companies to provide innovativeness is so incredible that it's a different vision altogether for so many Indian companies. And I would invite all these companies really to look at this innovativeness, who right now probably been importing or doing most of the work from foreign companies, to look at the engineers in India. And I think this whole crisis will also ensure that the brain drain that's happened over the last so many years will probably even stop. And many of these bright engineers and bright innovations that people have will retain and stay in India. And probably a lot more enterprise will build up over the next few years.
Right, sir. So next question is related to entrepreneurship. So as an entrepreneur, what do you think? What are the prerequisites one should have to start an enterprise?
I think the most important thing that you need to have is discipline. And I think it's in India, I agree, discipline and everything is fine, but everybody asks for a degree. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I say that do this course. This MBA course is good. It gives you a degree, and it gives you a huge amount of confidence. It gives you a huge amount of faith in the system. And I think the discipline is extremely crucial and important towards making you the person that you are. Like one a general in the US Navy or Army said a few days ago, that discipline begins when you wake up in the morning and you make your bed. It starts from there. If you are disciplined and you're focused to even starting to do that, I think it's the beginning of you telling yourself that that's the way to go. Every day in the morning, you wake up and you make your bed. Start from there. I think that itself makes you disciplined and makes you start thinking that the smallest of tasks that you do is also extremely important, because when you come back in the evening from work, your bed is already made. That itself gives you a huge sense of relief.
Right, sir. So the next question is, what were the challenges which you faced when you started your enterprise, and that too, your nature of business, your business model is totally different. How you took that decision and what were the challenges you faced?
See, first of all, the reason why I did this was because, like I told you, that my director had said that problems or opportunities, and I felt that there was a huge problem of open defecation, smell, lack of toilets, lack of sanitation in India. And after seeing that, what came to my mind was that there are not too many companies or people wanting to do this business or activity, because it was considered a stigma or something that was not really on the wish list of most young people. And for me, I think that was something that called for as an opportunity. And I realized that this could be a huge space where nobody has entered, nobody has thought about making it really sexy, really jazzy, really looking nice, and improve the lives of people in this country. And being the son of an army officer and being probably more drawn to nation building and probably more love for the nation. I'm not saying that other people who are non-defense background are not, but probably seeing your father in uniform and being a veteran of 2 wars, I think this nation building and doing something for the country, that is not just, like I would like my epitaph not just to have a date, but my epitaph should actually talk about what I did. And like I said, that, probably God meant it to be that I was sent here to build toilets or make India a better place and improve the lives and life expectancy, lifespan, and hygiene levels in India. So I think I have been faced with a lot of difficulties when I started it, but it all started falling into place. I would say the two major difficulties, biggest difficulty was getting talent, because like I said, that not everybody wants to work for a sanitation and a waste company. People rather work for financial institutions and consultancies and what have you, or large branded organizations. But I was quite driven by what I was doing. My passion for my work drew a lot of people to me. And yes, talent was definitely a problem, getting good talent. The second problem was also getting finance. And nobody wanted to fund an organization or a company that was working with toilets, because they thought it's not going to be profitable. And, how can toilets ever sell, or how can toilets ever be a profitable entity? Because in India, there was no such norm. Everybody could go out at one point in time. It's only today that things have changed. And like I said, that the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was a huge, a tipping point, or let's say an inflection point for organizations like ours, who are now not just considered as sanitation companies, but actually change makers and organizations that have actually improved the lives of so many people in India. So yes, finance has been a problem. We've reached out to banks. Luckily, we got private equity also, because they saw opportunity in it. And this was pre Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. But yes, now, as I speak to you, finance is always a challenge in India because of the mechanism or the system. And I believe that it is improving slowly. And definitely there is more opportunity. I mean, there are so many schemes that are available today. There's a CGT SME scheme which has been launched by nationalized banks since the last few years, where you can get up to 1 crore of loan without any collateral. So you can actually get a loan. Maybe the interest rates might be slightly higher, but you can definitely get a lot of up to a 1 crore loan. In addition to that, you have so many microfinance companies today and NBFCs which might be willing to lend you money if you have a good idea and if you have some proof of concept that you've done. So I would not consider that really as a big stumbling block, but yes, it is definitely a challenge. And for every business, raising funding and finance is always a challenge. I mean, when you even reach 100 crores and you want to reach 500 crores, you have to raise funding, you have to increase capability, capacity, get people. the same problems that you have at a micro level. Just the scale of activities changes. There's more compliances. There's more legal requirements that you have to follow. So you just basically, the way I see it is that talent and finance are two areas which will always be a challenge, whether you're a small company or a large company. So you should not really worry about it and give up hope that okay, you know what, I have a problem, so now no money, might as well go work for some company or give up, or let me try something else. And to all the young people, my advice would be that if you make a plan and if you have an idea, okay, a lot of people say that you must have a plan A and a plan B. According to me, you should only have a plan A, and your plan B should be look at plan A. So that's really what you're made up of. And in the end, I believe that the plan A is what's going to put you on top of the block and give you more success, give you more happiness, and also a huge amount of satisfaction for the work that you've done.
So the next question is, as a CEO, do you think companies prefer employees from the premium institutes?
See, that's a very company specific kind of, like, if you go to maybe the larger blue chip companies, they might want people from the IIMs or from all these bigger institutions. But frankly speaking, I have known of kids from the level 2, level 3 institutions also working for large companies. And I don't think it's only about it's not really about maybe your first job. Yes, maybe your first job, because companies like to probably offer better, bigger packages to the class that, whatever, the A grade institutions or top institutions or whatever you call them. Frankly speaking, I don't even have that terminology in my company, because I believe that I can find a good guy even in a level 2, level 3 institutions. In fact, I believe that, and my focus has been to reach out to people from smaller towns instead of taking kids from bigger cities, and reaching out to rural India. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of hard work that's being done in rural India, and kids from those areas who are studying in institutes in bigger cities, which cannot afford to go to the very high-end institutions, are also available at multiple levels in many other institutions as well. So as an organization and a CEO, I would look for talent, I would look for capability, and I would look for basically deliverables and performance rather than just a name. So I'm not very conscious about that, but maybe there are others who probably give it more value than I do.
So the next question is, in one of the interview by Jack Ma, he said being alive this year is more important than doing business or doing any other activity. So you were talking about, opportunities and adversities. There are a lot of students, they are asking that whether dropping this year for studies or dropping your business this year is a better decision. What is your take on it?
No, it's a very valid point, and what Jack Ma says or what Bill Gates says or whatever, these are people who are talking at a very high level, and I'm not denying. I mean, yes, it may be at their level, they might think so. They run large multi-billion-dollar organizations, but that doesn't mean that people and lives in India and jobs in India come to a standstill. Why are we always looking at the West? Why are we always looking at what's happened in the West and trying to sort of apply it and ape it to local conditions and over here? No, I don't agree with this. I believe that, like I said, that yes, this is a pandemic that has affected the world. But if you see data, I believe and I go by data. I do not believe in just creating panic situation and talk about catastrophes and whatever. The data says that in India, as of today, the death rate is 100 people per day. Okay, yes, it is a death rate. I feel extremely sorry for the situation. But if you compare it to the other problems that we are faced with in India, like people dying of diarrhea, 820 people die of diarrhea every day, 8 times the number that's dying of COVID. Or TB, there are 1,200 people dying of TB every day. I mean, just look at these figures, right? I'm not saying that that these figures don't compare it, or I'm just trying to say that, look, these things happen, and don't get alarmed and panicked by this situation. Just make sure that you are safe and make sure that you move on. And I think that no, it's a bad idea to consider dropping this year, or just, it's like a lot of people tell me, oh, this year never happened, just consider this year, that it's just not happening. So many bad things happening. I mean, look, it's bad thing is a very relative situation. There could be worse things. It could be, there can be so many bigger problems than this, and it's not happening to you as yet. So why are we just, depending upon this one situation and losing hope everywhere? No, I don't think we should lose hope. On the other hand, as I said, that have faith in the system, have faith in the country, have faith in the leaders, and have faith in the Almighty. We are least affected by COVID compared to all the other countries. Look at that. And I think whether it is our immunity, whether it is the strain of the virus, or whatever the reason, I do not know. I am no authority in this subject. But like I said, that going as per data, if there are 100 people dying today every day, yes, we need to take precaution and try to reduce that death rate. We try to be safe. We maintain social distancing, wear your masks, do everything that is required to be done. But don't stop living. I think nothing is worse than that. We have to move on. Don't drop your ears. Don't drop your placements. Will happen. Everything will happen. Yes, there will be a delay. Yes, there will be a shortage. Yes, there will be a situation where you might feel that you're not getting a job, but it's a temporary situation. It's only going to be a matter of time, and then things are going to get back to normal. And it's not even years. We're talking about a few months. So don't worry about it. Yes, schooling maybe might take a hit because till October, kids want to be very safe. Young students in business school, I don't think is a problem, very frankly. But again, that's dependent on the lawmakers and people who are going to be responsible for allowing, which is completely fine also. But you have mechanism like this. I'm talking to you from here in my office alone. Kids can be at home. They don't need to be at college for a few days maybe, but they can start attending courses over here. They can start working, doing projects at home, talk online to multiple opportunities and multiple people, mentors, maybe create online connections. And yes, this is the time for digital transformation. And I think artificial intelligence, digital transformation, kids will understand this better. Even the generation that's teaching them will understand it better. And probably, tomorrow when when you see a kid at home constantly on the phone or looking at something or working on that, well, you have to understand that that's their life. We were not like that because we didn't have that opportunity. So we had to go out all the time to seek for some kind of entertainment. Kids don't need that. Well, I'm not saying that they need to, of course, they need to do sport, they need to go and do workouts and all that. But they're very comfortable and very happy in their own space. And I think the younger generation is probably I feel they're a lot more sorted than many of us. So let's give them that. Let's give them that boost, that courage, that morale building, and make sure that they go to the next level. And I'm a absolute I'm absolute proponent of and let's say of growth and development for them. And let's not get cowed down and bogged down by this COVID-19 issue. I think it'll fall into place.
Sir, due to time constraint, I'll take the last question. There are n number of questions. So this is the last question of the session. Sir, your energy is contagious. Your aura is contagious. What is the secret of it?
I don't know. I think a lot of people have told me that, and I think it's like I said. The first thing is I think I'm gifted by God that I was meant to do this activity to bring about a change and bring about change to the lives of people in our country. So maybe that gives me the inspiration and that energy to really work harder and do more stuff, not get stressed. And I think I am a firm believer of karma. I am a firm believer of Hindu philosophy. At the same time, I'm not very religious, so to speak. I don't maybe go to temples. I don't probably do all that. But I think I'm extremely spiritual when it comes to that. I do believe in God. I do believe in maybe I do not believe in rituals as much, but I do believe in God. I do believe that all of us are sent for a purpose. And I think if you find your purpose in your life, your meaning will automatically come. So that's really what I believe in.
Rightly said, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for sharing your words of wisdom. I'm sure students are enlightened with the positive aura and the wisdom of yours. On behalf of IIEBM family, I congratulate you and thank you for sparing time for us. Best wishes for your future endeavors. And we are looking forward to welcome you once we commence classes in the institute. Till then, long live IIEBM and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.